Hey guys, I'm here to do another reaction video. This one is 10 things WWE want you to forget about Chris Jericho. And I've seen Chris Jericho and I honestly do not like him. But anyways, let's watch this and see if there's any other things I can find that I don't like about him. Let's watch. It's by What
I met
Culture,
Chris
by the
Jericho
way.
once. He didn't like me. That's fair, though. I'm closer to a Beatle than a man, and Chris has often shown himself to be a man of impeccable taste. I will now pause while Sam edits together a nice slideshow of Chris Jericho wearing awful scarves.
So true. I don't see the point of
Thanks,
guys
Sam.
wearing
Back
scarves.
to work, dickhead. Seriously, there's a reason, though, why Y2J is still around so long after the whole Y2K thing has long been forgotten. The man's reinvented himself so many times over the years, playing both face and heel, every time to success. Well, not exactly every time. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 things WWE want you to forget about Chris Jericho. Number 10, Mr. Hughes.
Mr.
So you're
Hughes.
Vince McMahon, right? You're this guy with all the talent in the world at your disposal. Problem is, he's technically a cruiserweight, and that makes you furious in a way that you don't fully understand. You just know you're cross. Now, you don't want to fire the superstar, but you also want to make sure that everyone knows that you know that he's small. So you stick him with a gigantic bodyguard, then print money. That's what WWF did with Chris Jericho when he first arrived. They stuck him with Mr. Hughes, a man who has two main gimmicks, a business suit and frowning. The partnership lasted a very short while, and Jericho would go on to prove that he works just fine by himself.
True.
Number 9, the Brazilian flag incident. People really like flags.
Granted, I don't like Chris Jericho, but he still is a good fighter, so, you know. Anyways, the Brazilian flag is, tell me this. Is this kind of like what happened between Rusev and Big Show when Rusev tried to rip down the American flag and Rusev ripped down the Russian flag? I'm bringing back past events.
I'm from here, they shout, giddy with happiness. Look, it's a bit of cloth with the colours of the place where I'm from on it. I'm from here. I don't really get the whole national pride thing, mostly because I'm from Britain and we don't really have that anymore, apart from, the racists. Tell you who does have just a whole bunch of national pride, though. Brazil! Chris Jericho found that out the hard way at a house show in Sao Paulo where he took the Brazilian flag, threw it down, and kicked him. An absolutely baffling amount of outrage then happened, and I think it's a very silly thing to care about what happens to a flag, but the controversy was so great that Vince suspended Jericho for 30 days. That is a silly thing to do. Number 8, he was originally in the main event of Mania 2000. WrestleMania 2000 is widely considered as one of the shoddy WrestleManias, not WrestleMania 9 levels of bad, but certainly a bit suspect. This was due in no small part to the fact that on the whole card there was only one singles match, the cat fight between Terry Runnels and the Cat. Yes, everything else was multi-man matches or tags because 2000? I don't know. Including the main event, which was an okay main event. It was a 4-man elimination match advertised in advance to feature The Rock, Triple H, The Big Show, and Chris Jericho. Yep, Y2J was on the original promotional material for the pay-per-view because he was originally scheduled to be in that match. He was later bumped for Mick Foley, who had technically been retired by Triple H only a month before. And to be fair, while it was a dick move and had to be bitterly disappointing for Y2J, at least Mick Foley got to be in a WrestleMania main event. He had a nice day. That's a good thing. Number 7, Mickey Rourke hated him. Now let's be honest, Mickey Rourke hates most things. He has the bitter world weariness of a broken down tractor full of crabs. Mickey Rourke hates Bingley. He sure as hates me, and he also hates Mr. Christopher Jericho. See, if anyone who's seen WrestleMania 25, which is the 24th anniversary of WrestleMania, for sake, Jericho battled a host of legends in a match that was fairly bad. Well, Steamboat still had it. After the match, Rourke took to the ring to lay Jericho out in that typical celebrities are tougher than wrestlers shtick, which has been around since Mr. T in WrestleMania 1.
Mr. T, actually, I'm pretty sure
really disliked Jericho for realsies. Y2J had been mocking Rourke for a while, leading up to the encounter, including a segment on Larry King with Jericho in full-on dick character the whole time. Well, Rourke didn't take kindly to that and brought an entourage of tough dudes to the Mania rehearsal with the express intent of duffing up Chris. According to Jericho in his book, he managed to confuse the situation, and they have never spoken since. Number 6, being arrested for public drunkenness. We've all been there. Ross has, with his top off, cross of St. George emblazoned on his chest, howling patriotic curses at a...
I figured that it would have been something that where he broke, Chris Jericho had to have broken the law. I'm surprised that he didn't do anything where he didn't get arrested for kicking the Brazilian flag or something.
smashed up French cafe. We all have a bit too much, and such was the case for Chris Jericho in 2010 when he was arrested in the parking lot of a gas station after having a drunken fight with Shane Helms in the back of a cab. Chances are they were being just big, bloody, blokey lad boys and play fighting, and after paying $100 in fines, the matter was swept under the carpet like WWE would like it to remain, please. Number 5, his close friendship with Kelly. I don't like doing these parts on this where it gets personal, and I mean, sorry, Mr. Jericho.
Sorry.
So Y2J has been married since 2000. Here he is in his wedding suit. Why do wrestlers look so weird in clothes? Here's John Cena in a suit. What is all that about? Anyway, Jericho called a scandal many years back when photos surfaced online of him and Kelly. By the way, Kelly is not his wife. One of these photos featured the two kissing. Now, it's perfectly possible that it's all horseplay. Lots of people kiss each other on the mouth, like Titus O'Neil and his son, or Jack the Jobber and Susie Kennedy, but it was enough to cause a bit of scandalous gossip. Number 4, he was poorly treated as champ. I don't know if you know that Chris Jericho was the first ever undisputed champion. He might have mentioned it 100 or 400 times. Yep, at Vengeance 2001, Y2J beat The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin on the same night via shenanigans to win both the WWF title and the WCW title to become the undisputed champion. What he might have neglected to mention was that his championship reign was about as stellar as Artois, with him effectively serving as the far more handsome Igor to Stephanie McMahon, the true
Igor
piece, walking her dog and having to deal with pesky things like a hammer-toting strange husband. He was basically a whipping boy. It just didn't look good. Now, Jericho was playing the archetypical
I don't see...
heel, and they're not exactly supposed to be booked as dominant forces of macho manliness, but being the least important part of your own WrestleMania main event had to burn. As I'm sure did the fact that Jericho initially got paid nowhere near as much as Triple H did for that very same match. Feels good to be back.
he's the son-in-law.
Number 3, an altercation with a fan. In 2009, Chris Jericho was involved in an altercation with a female fan after a show.
spit
If you
on
want
a
to see a
woman?
shaky cam video of a very annoyed Canadian man, there is mobile phone footage online of the incident.
Another reason why I don't like... You don't spit on generally anybody. That's a very big sign of disrespect. If there's any kids watching us, don't spit on people, okay? And I mean it. Seriously. Granted, you may not like people, but still, that's not a necessary need for disrespect.
So, just looking at the footage, it happens like this. People swarm around Chris Jericho way too much, and the arena security were doing a very bad job of protecting him. From the footage, you see him exchange terse words with a blonde lady, who then goes for him while he's trying to get in his car before he turns around and makes a swing. It's unclear if it's a punch or a shove, and witnesses to the event had conflicting views of exactly what happened. The victim claimed in an article that Jericho made racist remarks about her boyfriend and spat on her, which you can't see in the footage, but the footage isn't that great. It's unclear what happened. Jericho wasn't charged, but it looks like an ugly situation. Festus ugly. Number 2.
Is Chris Jericho racist? I mean, I knew that there are some superstars that are racist, but Chris Jericho? Granted, I don't like him, but I didn't think he was. I don't know.
Some of his best matches can't be talked about. Chris Jericho has had a long career with many highlights. His astonishing feud with Shawn Michaels in 2008, his tag run with The Big Show, that WrestleMania match he had with Fandango, solid gold all down the line. But it's a persistent shame that WWE can rarely, if at all, acknowledge some of the best matches in his career. The ones that involved Chris Benoit. You know why they can't, and we're not going to go into that again. And this affects a lot of superstars. Angle, Triple H, Guerrero all had amazing matches with Benoit, but Jericho's really were something else. Not only did they make great adversaries, producing one of the greatest ladder matches in history at the 2001 Royal Rumble, but also as partners with their tag title match against Stone Cold and Triple H on Raw being a career highlight for both men. WWE may not be able to...
If you guys don't exactly know, and if I'm pretty sure if you're watching, if you've seen What Culture, by the way, I didn't mention this, go check them out. They do a lot of good videos about 10 things you didn't know about your favorite superstars or something, but anyways, the reason why WWE generally just wants you to forget completely about Chris Benoit is because of how he had killed his wife and his son. I think his son was 4, and people believe that it was due to steroid abuse that made him, lose his mind and such. And after he killed his wife and killed his son, he killed himself. That's a pretty good reason, but in general, still, if it's steroid use, just take the lawsuit, Vince.
Promote them, but seek these matches out if you can. They're wrestling at its best. And number 1, wanting to quit WWF in 2000. That's right, Y2J almost came to an end in Y2K, as the man with hair like a volcano of beautiful gold nearly walked out of Vin Mac's Attack Shack in April of 2000. According to an interview with Busted Open he did in 2013, Jericho was furious at being misbooked, jobbed out and generally undervalued, and was on his way to give Vince his notice. And only one thing could prevent him from marching out of the company: they popped the WWF title on him for just one night. Yep, on Raw, April 17th, 2000, it's a title change that WWE don't officially recognise, but it produced one of the biggest TV pops this side of the millennium. Triple H had a double bacon cheeseburger XL level of beef with Earl Hebner at the time, and when Jericho goaded Trips into a title match by insulting Stephanie McMahon, Hebner fast counted quicker than Jack the Jobber, and Y2J was crowned champion. Sure, he'd have to return the belt later that night, but it was one hell of a moment and stopped Jericho from walking out of the company with the majority of his career highlights yet to come. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Tell us about it in the comments.
Yeah, so I've learned quite a couple more reasons why I don't like Chris Jericho. I'm not going to go through all of them because of how I can't really explain. Sorry about that, guys. That was just Dino. He's my dog. Let me show him. Anyways, that's my reaction to 10 Things WWE Want You to Forget About Chris Jericho. If you liked my reaction to it, you know what to do. Anyways, also, go check out whatculture.com. They are really good with this stuff. And this is the Michigan Squid. See you next episode. Bye.